Well, that's right. I have an exhaust manifold leak, and it is on the driver's side, and it's the very back of the motor, the very last one. And the reason it's leaking is because the bolt head just broke off. Normal driving, and it's my understanding it's very common in these LS motors. So now is not a real good time for me to have to pull all this off, pull the exhaust manifold, hoping I don't break the rest of the bolts. So I just want to buy myself some time till I can set aside a good block to make sure if I run into problems I can take care of things. The way we're going to try to do that is use what they call a manifold clamp. And what the manifold clamp is, or how it will work on this particular motor, in my particular position, is this is the clamp. Just take that out, and I'll show you how it works real quick. This particular clamp will mount to the rear of the driver's side head or the front of the passenger side head. They make another one that will fit to the front of the driver's side, rear of the passenger side, and they also make another one that will fit, it's a flat, and it fits the bolts in the center. How this works is there are mounting holes on the head of the head. This will mount to the back of the head like this. That is where my broken bolt is for my manifold, for exhaust manifold. Then what you do is you screw this in, and then you tension it up until you've got your manifold tight again and it's not leaking. I hear of people using these as a permanent fix. It's pretty heavy duty. I'm not planning on doing that, but this is a good opportunity to see if this really will work for me and to see if it'll buy me some time and an opportunity to share with y'all this device. It might be something that you've been looking for. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to use the front passenger side of the head to show you what I'm talking about. Here's the two holes, and there is the very end of the exhaust manifold. This one here, of course, is not messed up. There's not a problem with it. But to demonstrate how it works, here's your clamp, and it would go into these two holes, and that's where the piece would clamp down into that general area. There's just no good way for me to show you and get my hand out of the way. But that's what we're going to be doing on the rear. Okay, here's what we're dealing with. And here's our bolt holes. I'll get my arm up in there where you can see it. It's further than it looks. There's one right there, and the other is right here. But of course, the fact that we live in the South and dirt daubers will put a dad blame nest anywhere, they have filled that up. So I've got to get it cleaned out and get the thread cleaner in it and all. But anyway, I'm just griping. But those are our two holes. And here is the broken off bolt. And I've checked, it is broken off down in there. It still exists, and it's going to be a problem. And we don't have a whole lot of room to work in here. So my other thought, I can back this thing up, is right here. This is a guard, a heat shield, aluminum heat shield. And there's a bolt here, here, and there's one up top. If I take that off, it's probably going to give me about that much more room to work, which is huge in a tight area like this. So In summation, I'm going to take these off to remove this cover. And something I hope you don't have to do if you need to do this is to clean out a mud out of a bolt hole. And then anyway, we'll get that done and we'll come back and begin the installation. Okay, a couple things to mention halfway through. Whether you've got a dirt dauber filled up in your hole or not, it's a good idea to get you tap and die and clean out the holes in the head. One of mine I thought was clean. I ran a bolt down it anyway, cleaned it out. I got a bunch of trash out of it. The threads would still go in, but it still had crap in it. So it's a good idea to clean that out. And I went ahead and cleaned up these as well, because they just were not very refined. I'm kind of disappointed in the bolts that came with this, but they were the threads were a little bit ugly, so I spent 2 minutes, just ran them through that, got them cleaned up. And the other one, I wanted to mention the heat shield. Again, it's just the 3 bolts or nuts that held it on, and it really did. It's given me about that much more room, and it's going to be a huge difference in getting that clamp on. Okay, I'm having to use my hand here to block the light coming in, or you can't see. But here are the holes all cleaned up. Everything's ready to mount up. And here, see, I've got a lot more room without that heat shield in the way. So wanted to show you that before I started putting the bracket on. Okay, there's the bracket installed. And I really don't understand what all the problems were with people saying this was really hard to put in. It took them a couple days, or if you take this heat shield off, it opens up all kinds of room. Literally, it's taken me longer to clean that one hole out than anything else. So here we've got the plate in and mounted. The heads of these are 14 millimeter. And now we're going to put our bolt in here to tighten up the manifold. Okay, here we are all mounted up. There's our 1, 2 into the back of the head. And here's the tension bolt. I believe they say mount these at 37 pounds and this at 18. And they want you to use Loctite on them. I am choosing not to use Loctite. I'm planning on not keeping it on here. If it happens to loosen up, I'll just tighten it up. The stuff is already on. It's easy to get to. That's, my prerogative. So let's get our heat shield back on here, and we'll get this thing cranked up and see if we've eliminated that tick. Okay, we've got everything back on now. Got our heat shield back on. Lord, let me try to work around here. I'm sorry. Anyway, let me get up in there so you can see. That's how much room you have trying to put this thing on if you leave this heat shield on. Take it off, I don't think you'll have any trouble. So let's crank this thing up, see how it sounds. Well, I'm not hearing anything. You can see our shiny little bolt head back there. So the only test will be to drive it and see how many adjustments we have to make, but it has made a considerable improvement in this quick little exhaust manifold problem band-aid. Well, from what I can tell, this is gonna do for me. Again, I just needed to buy me some time, but shoot, if it lasts a couple months, that'd be great. I've heard of some people using these as a permanent fix. I'm not counting on that, because if you have one manifold bolt break, you know there's more in store. This particular vehicle is a 2004 2500, Chevy 2500, and it's a 6-liter motor. The part that I use that I was talking about, this manifold clamp, is made by Dorman, and it's 917-107. Again, only time will tell, but I think it's worth a shot. I think it was $26, $27 for this thing. And it took me, if I hadn't had to be running back and forth finding stuff, and if I had my act together, I probably could have done this whole thing between 30 and 45 minutes without a problem. So I don't know if you've heard that these are horrible and not even worth fooling with. You might want to reconsider if you're kind of handy and can do things like this. But again, I know I'm keep harping on it, but take that heat shield off. That heat shield just gave me all kinds of room. I think that might be some people's downfall. But anyway, I hope y'all found this helpful, and maybe it will be a key to helping somebody out there solve one of their automotive problems. As usual, good luck with your projects.